Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 12 of What If Naruto Was Blamed and It Changed Him, guys. Remember to get this one to 200 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, stay in tune for Anime King 3. Link will be at the top of the description for you guys to enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Sasuke was currently locked up at Konoha, as he didn't remember how exactly to get here. Last he remember was, as Sasuke felt relief as he finally killed his brother. He finally got revenge for his clan. But knowing that was out of the way now, he felt a bit of, well, dread. Seeing that he felt without a goal, without a cause. As Nadi came in there along with Hibiki, as she told him that his punishment would be assigned to his class, the people that he betrayed, as he knew about the rookies, but he didn't really care. Some part of him after killing Itachi just seemed to kind of give up, although he still had his goal to rebuild the Uchiha clan to even greater than before. At the Hidden Stone, as Naruto was facing off against a member of a clan, a boy, they use a form of Tsunade ability with her perfect chakra control, but they use it in bursts, as she added to her fist to create her immense strength, but they use it with incredible bursts to give them speed, as Naruto was able to take them out though. But fighting the last member, something was wrong, as the man was definitely not a genin. As Naruto had disrupted the man's transformation as he was a jonin, Naruto looked towards the proctor. A hail of kunais and shurikens then rained down on him, as Gaara and Jiraiya came in and blocked it, saving him. The Tishikage then came in, as he had spoken something that shocked Naruto to his very core. He was a son of Minato Namikaze. Jiraiya quickly took Naruto and got out of there as Gaara disappeared in sand. As Jiraiya had Gamabunta jump Naruto away. But the Tishikage already prepared for something like that, as Anbu's were out there. As Jiraiya had stepped away for a moment as they tried to attack Naruto, but Naruto became bloodlusty as he slaughtered each and every one of them. And the part about it that he hated was that he liked it. As Naruto was solemn the entire way as he made his way to Konoha, as Jiraiya went to talk to Tsunade as Hana came to talk to him, as she knew that something was wrong, as Naruto told her, as she just held on to him, as she wanted to know. She didn't want to hide anything away from her, as she wanted to be there for him and make sure that he was okay. She didn't want any secrets between them. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across and please check out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. After his time with Hana, Naruto's situation didn't change really much, as he was still wondering why no one ever told him about his father and mother. However, there was still another issue on his mind, as Hana had fell asleep. Naruto had to visit someone, as he needed to know about Sasuke's final destination, and only one man knew about Hunter Nin's more than him, and that was the commander. Sasuke was considered a rank Nin, but a special one. Naruto could have killed him that day with a kunai. He was unconscious next to his dead brother, but Sasuke had to be captured instead of killed, much to Naruto's displeasure and the man's favoritism. But now that he was captured, Naruto did not know what Konoha would do to him, and quite frankly, he wanted to know what would happen with Uchiha. He didn't care if Konoha voted for his death, or voted for him to give the village many babies with the Sharingan. By slicing the missing throats, Naruto made sure they were dealt with for good. But capturing Sasuke just put him on, well, off edge. But he needed to know what Sasuke's punishment would be, same way. Going through a false wall located in an empty building, Naruto went down the stairs as he reached the Hunting base. as the commander was down there. Ah, my favorite hunter Nin. Come in my office, Naruto. What can I do for you? Naruto nodded as he approached the office as the door was shut. As he took a seat, as the commander went around and sat in his chair. Sir, I was hoping you could fill me in. Regarding a certain capturing missing in A rank. Uchiha Sasuke, I presume. Naruto was surprised since he didn't see the name of a criminal, but he figured no A rank missing in would be captured, only killed. Sasuke's situation was the exception. The commander's tone went soft, as the man didn't seem like he was comfortable with the leniency that was going on at the moment. I was trained to eliminate those that conspire against Konoha well-being, and as such, Sasuke Uchiha is considered, to me at least, the worst on the A rank list. I was merely curious to know what Sama plans to do with him, considering his criminal record. The captain got up and opened a cabinet. All information regarding missing names were inside this cabinet, and certainly Sasuke's information was in there as well. He picked Sasuke's file and went to the last page. He then turned towards Naruto. According to this file, Sasuke's fate will be decided by the very ones in his graduation class. 2 of them were nominated as leaders who will relay the information to Tsunade tomorrow. I believe you know the names Naruto, Shikamaru, and Iberami Shino. If you want to know about his fate, talk to these 2 and get a feel of them. Who knows, maybe you could persuade them to kill the bastard and be done with it. I know you feel the same way I do when criminal leniency is concerned. Just remember to pass by for a visit and tell me about it. Don't worry, said Naruto, if it was up to me, Sasuke would meet his end like any criminal should. Time skip, with Shino. At the moment, Shino was an Anbu captain, as he had his own team to lead, and they were climbing up the ranks incredibly fast with their constant accomplishment. Right now, he was leaving Anbu HQ, hoping to get some sleep after a tired mission at Taki borders. But as he walked along the empty paths of Konoha, he felt someone tailing him from afar. Whoever this person was, Shino was impressed by the stealth that he presented. For him and his bugs not to notice until now was incredible, and he felt like congratulating the man or the woman. As he turned in a dark alley and he was greeted with his follower. Long time no see, Shino. The voice was stronger than he remembered, but his bugs couldn't be fooled that easily. Indeed, it was Naruto. Why are you following me? Shino couldn't see much because it was nighttime, but he could swear that Naruto smirked at the question. I just don't like to walk around Konoha, that's all. People know that I'm here, and I don't want to give them the satisfaction of glaring at me. Now, I was meaning to discuss something with you, if I may. I was wondering about Sasuke Whereabouts, and hoping you can tell me something about him. What makes you think I know anything about him, asked Shino. Well, I'm not the smartest person around, but I know, as Anbu captain, there isn't much that you don't know about. Plus, as a future clan heir, I trust that your father is relating important secrets of the village to you, day by day. Now, I was the one that captured Sasuke, and I was wondering why he isn't dead yet, considering that he was an A rank missing in, and a person of such reputation doesn't deserve to live. I know that you and the others are deciding on Sasuke's punishment, and I want to know how it's going. I guess discussing with you is no problem. You are part of the group, even if no one, save Kiba, ever sees you anymore. So indeed, Sasuke's fate will be decided by our group. However, as it stands, there are 2 possible outcomes. Live or die. To me, this decision doesn't require 5 seconds, given his record. And these 5 seconds are in their methods of killing. If I were to guess, you, Shikamaru, Kiba, and Neji are in fate of his death, while Hinata, Sakura, Ino, Tenten are in fate of the lighter punishment. Am I closer to ask? Shino's sudden silence gave him the answer. Choji would be the one to end the tie, but he chose to withdraw from the decision. That leave 8 votes, and so far it's 4 against, and 4 with it. Well, perhaps I could act in Choji's stead. After all, I was in the same class as you guys, said Naruto. As Shino narrowed his eyes, close to 4 years ago, there were only 2 people that were protecting Sasuke so much. One of them was Sakura and the other was Naruto. But back then Naruto was a stupid genin. Always believing focused on second chances. Right now he was responsible for killing missing ninjas. It was his job. So maybe he would vote for Sasuke's death. As Shino remembers Sakura saying that Naruto will definitely vote for Sasuke to stay alive. But she doesn't know who Naruto is anymore. For some reason or another, I don't know which side he will be on, Shino said. Surprising Naruto. 4 years ago you would protect him even if he killed everyone in Konoha. Now you kill people based on crimes listed in the bingo book. Naruto felt insulted both personally and professionally. Okay, let me tell you something. When I captured Sasuke, my hand was itching to grab any slicing object and end his misery. But if I did that, I would be overriding the code of the Unternin, which said that under no circumstances shall I overwrite the bingo book. So if the bingo book said capture him, I obey. Now if this didn't answer your question, I'm not sure anything will. However, if my vote counted for something, you would have already considered it. My best guess is someone voted me out from fear that I would interfere somehow. Probably Shikamaru, he was the smartest after all. By now, Shino was confident the person in front of him was not Naruto that he knew once again. He already made the hunter in before, but not under these circumstances. I have a feeling that wasn't a question but a statement. Indeed, he voted you out and no one argued against it. Not even Sakura, no matter how much she repented after hearing our side of the story. I see. Well, there isn't much I can do then, other than wish good luck to your side. Now I wonder what will happen to him, considering you guys can't decide. Perhaps the Hokage will decide the final outcome. Anyway, I have a place to be right now. Take care, Shino. With that, Naruto was gone. As Shino continued his walk. After a few jumps, Naruto was in a place that he never expected himself to be. His sensei Kakashi used to come here most of the time, but he never focused on the stone. Upon looking at it, he could see many ninjas that died. He saw his father's name listed there with bigger words than the other names, as expected, based on the position of Hokage. As Naruto remembered what happened in the stone, as his fist clenched tight, he was still pissed about hearing about his father and the fact that no one bothered telling him about it even after all this time. But overall, he was wondering about his old man and the challenge he had as the fourth Hokage. What tribulation he faced to become Hokage, but most of all, why he used his own son to seal the cave inside of him. All these questions replaced his anger to curiosity. I somehow figured that he would be here, Naruto. Naruto heard the familiar voice and turned his head slightly to barely register his sensei Kakashi. He knew that Kakashi was aware of who his father was. But in all fairness, physically attacking the man wouldn't do any good. But that didn't mean he couldn't complain. I always wonder why you came here all the time, Sensei. As Kakashi approached. Is it because you miss your loved ones who perished in battle? Or is it because you feel guilty for keeping me from the truth all these years? His tone was calm, but Kakashi, like a ton of bricks, was smashing into his face. Kakashi had talked to Jiro about what happened, and he knew that Naruto would want to discuss it with him. That is why he was fully dressed in his Jonin attire, fully equipped with his new sword. He came prepared in case Naruto wanted to get a bit physical. But that never happened, and Kakashi was a bit surprised and a bit afraid. You got the guilty part right, Naruto, but not the real reason behind it. But this is irrelevant to your current situation. Yes, I know who your father was, as he was my team sensei. He was like a father to me, and he helped me get through everything that happened to my life. Then why, said Naruto? Why no one told you about it? Minato sensei's name, as you know, is frowned upon in Hidden Stone. If they knew you were the son at the beginning, it wouldn't take them too long to declare your head for everything your father did. The third Hokage considered. I'm not talking about the stone, said Naruto. Kakashi, I'm talking about me. Why wasn't I informed of my parents? Growing up alone with no knowledge from them, no memory to hold on to while growing up. I understand why my position as his son was revealed to the public, but why wasn't I? Why was it kept from me? Please help me understand, Sensei. Give me one reason no one ever told me about my father. Kakashi saw Naruto's hand trembling violently. I know you're angry and demanding answers, but no one can answer them except for your father. Naruto was shocked as Kakashi answered, until he felt the ground shifted, as Jiraiya had his sunshine in. Naruto turned as Jiraiya had a scroll handed towards him. Naruto took the scroll as he unstrapped the lace and read it. Hello Naruto, when you read this, I hope you are there Jonin in terms of experience and skills. In a few moments, Kyuubi is going to attack Konoha, and it's my duty to protect the village at all costs. I have developed a specific technique that will leave you the fox once and for all, but the price for this technique is something no father should or ever bear with their consciousness. As you're now aware of the fox inside of you, you know what I'm talking about. Also, you should know, I couldn't ask anyone to give me their son and daughter for this. I knew I wouldn't think twice before denying the request. Know this, my son, you're a hero to the village, and don't you dare think otherwise. No matter what people say, you're the hero that would keep the fox at bay. I know your life won't be easy, and for that, I'm sorry as well. You will face hardships no child should suffer while growing up, but I'm certain that you will overcome them, because you share my blood, and the word giving up doesn't appear in our vocabulary. Furthermore, because of who I am, I asked Sarutobi-sama to not reveal their heritage until you could properly defend yourself against my enemies. Stone Shinobis are vicious individuals, and they won't stop until they receive retribution for what happened in the last Shinobi War. And because of this, I felt like it was better to keep you away from the truth until you're powerful enough to defend yourself against them. So please don't be mad with him or anyone else that is already knowing the truth. I account to the possibility of you being angry with me. But considering the situation and circumstances Konoha and our family is facing, I couldn't take the chance. Your mother, Kushina Uzumaki, perished as a victim of a terrible disease, and this technique of mine will also kill me as well. I hope old Sarutobi has taken care of you in my and your mother stead. Our wish is that you become a powerful ninja and a true wielder of the will of fire. As I hear the fox paw scratching your walls, I know my time is done, but I want to leave you this letter, hoping to answer some of your questions. Last, as you will see, the kanji written below this letter is a containment seal. Inside is another scroll with the coordinates of my house. It is like a mansion like anything in Uchiha or Hyuga, but what is important is what's inside. I have collected a very extensive library of jutsus, and it's my inheritance to you, son. Also, you have access to two of my strongest jutsus, the Rasengan and the Harashin. Become a proud shinobi, and know, both I and your mother love you, and will always watch over you from the sky above. With love. The fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze, father of the great Naruto Uzumaki. Jiraiya and Kakashi stood still as they watched Naruto read the letter, as they heard him whisper the name of his mother as the memory hit them as well. Kushina's demise was unfortunate, and it resulted in Naruto being an orphan with no one to look after him. Naruto then turned to face the two of them, and they feared he wouldn't take Minato words to heart, as Kakashi saw Naruto look down, as tears fell on the ground. But then Naruto vanished away, as he wouldn't cry in front of these two. You think he'll be okay? Asked Kakashi. As Jiraiya sighed, I don't know, he's a mystery to solve, and he didn't even let me tell him about his Jonin promotion. Oh well, Jiraiya said. Time skip, Hokage's office. At this time at night, everyone was sleeping except for the Hokage, Anfus, and a few shinobis. Tsunade actually enjoyed these quiet moments, as no one would bother her. Next to her was a bottle of sake, one of the best coming from the lightning country. The warm liquid always calmed their nerves, as it was hard to have some time alone now because of the position though. One of the Chonins just came barging in her office with a message, breaking her alone time. Tsunade-sama, urgent message from Kumo. Tsunade was surprised by that, as she snatched a scroll away from him. As she quickly unrolled it, it was a rather long message written by the fourth Raikage. Her eyes widened in surprise and shock at the news in front of her. She got up and started to scream orders to the station envoys in her office. Bring me Jiraiya, Naruto, Kakashi, right now. I don't care if they're busy, I want them here right now. The eager mass envoy quickly appeared and vanished to bring out her orders. Apparently, the Raikage just captured the Hatsumi Jinjuki, and the Raikage was demanding a meeting between the 5 nations to discuss the organization. Right now, the organization has 8 of the Bijus, and Naruto was the last one remaining. As the envoy made his way, as the envoys in the office knew that Tsunade was rather, well, irrational when it comes to certain things, as she would have marched straight towards the Hidden Stone with her elite shinobis to face off against the Teshikage himself for what he did, as all village had a signing agreement of non-neutrality against each other. But with this new development, she couldn't afford to do anything like that, as the ninjas that she requested had made their way to the office as the envoy teams went back in the shadows. Kakashi, you weren't there, but I trust Jiraiya already briefed you, didn't he? She didn't need to hear a response. For a long time the Hidden Stone stood their ground, doing nothing to disrespect the pack. Now, their act against Naruto's life leads to a clear position with 2 purposes, don't you think, Jiraiya? As Jiraiya nodded, indeed that old kook planned it perfectly, attacking Naruto. The first reason is kind of obvious, as Jiraiya turned towards Naruto, who was wearing his mask. The other was to goad us into a new war, possibly killing thousands if not more. The man was desperate though, I can tell. With us thinking like this though, we have an advantage that can be used at the Kage Summit later on. Oniki is counting for you to either attack him or declare war against Hidden Stone. He certainly won't expect a demand on our part regarding compensations, and he wouldn't be able to say no to Kakashi, seeing that he will have all the other Kages right there if he declare a war. Of course, he will do everything to go to Tsunade-sama. He will use Naruto's image to say that it was retribution for everything the fort did to them. I bet he will even crack a smile only to go to even more. Tsunade nodded as she turned to Naruto, the only person that hadn't said a word so far. If this was a normal Naruto, she would have considered it a blessing. However, he was different now, and that was dangerous by itself. As she wondered, what was he thinking right now? What are you thinking, Naruto? I know from Jiraiya that he didn't have the time to tell you about your promotion to Jonin, meaning that you're once again authorized for the Hunter Nin job. I just want to know what you're thinking in all of this. Besides attacking Konoha, they attacked you. so that grant you for the right to attack them for revenge, which would be justified. During Kakashi was shocked by her words. How could she play with such a situation, considering the anger that Naruto must be feeling? Not to mention what was inside his stomach. Naruto could literally go there and cause pure havoc with the fox power. But Naruto only stared at Tsunade as he was wondering why she was asking about his opinion on the matter. His job only involved killing missing limbs. To tell the truth, I care little for revenge. If Konoha, that means you, Tsunade-sama, felt aggravated by the Tsuchikage attack on me, then by all means, do as you see fit. And seeing as you hereby granted me the Jonin position, I can return to my work and hunt the bastard who raised a finger against their home village and return them to justice. Guys like Sasuke Uchiha, even though he betrayed the village, is still amongst the living for reasons I still don't know. I trust me being here affects little for a decision that you're going to make against the Hidden Stone. That being said, there is no reason for me to remain. After Naruto shut his mouth, the room was dead silent. Even the envoys were looking at him, but Naruto didn't wait as he simply vanished away from the room, as he did not saw the single tear that escaped from Tsunade's eyes. Whatever happened to Naruto out there, she didn't like it one bit. His heart was still bound to protect the villagers, but the boy only believed in killing now. He lacked that sweetness and broad smile that would brighten up everyone's day, as regardless of what happened. She couldn't blame anyone but herself for allowing Naruto to become a hunter in the first place. But the mother side of a person always pointed the finger on the third person, and that was the commander. The goddamn commander who turned Naruto into a killer, an assassin. The rain started to pour heavily as lightning cackled. Uzumaki Naruto, the Uzumaki that she knew, was officially dead. Still in her resolves, as seeing that nothing could be done about that now, she returned back to the Kage summit. Kakashi, please gather guide for a mission tomorrow morning. You two will be accompanying me at the Kage summit. You, Jiraiya, will be appointed as Hokage while I'm not here. Normally, I would ask Chikaku to fill in, but he's busy at the moment. While I'm gone, it will be required for you to watch out for those old fools, Koharu and Homura. Everything else will be handled by Shizune. Time skip. After leaving the office, Naruto stood aside on Hokage's tower as the rain was pouring down. He didn't regret what he said, as he was holding on to the scroll that was written by his father, as he wondered what his father did for him. But it somehow dawned on him that the scroll contents wasn't all that clarifying. What his father told him was pretty much the same thing that everyone said, and that pissed him off to no end. He just hoped whatever he found in that place would be able to atone for sealing the beach inside of him. As he looked at the contents, the location again, as he placed it inside one of his many pockets. The house was located in a secluded area just behind the Hokage's monument. It was strange though. Naruto remembered going there when he was younger, behind right that place, but he never saw any constructions or anything. He jumped from rooftop to rooftop, making his way. It didn't take long for him to reach the top of the hill, as he looked at the village down below, as he stood there with nothing in his mind. It was strange how this place could just make him relax, despite everything that happened in his life, as he wondered if it somehow resembled a home to him. I'm gonna hurl. Stop whining over a spoiled milk brat. Now, besides the fact, they were your family, the fourth Hokage must have held some great knowledge when it comes to the ninja art that was stored in that house. So why don't you go and check it out? Despite the fox being a main cause of most things, Naruto wasn't angry for having someone there to talk to him, even through his entire run in the Hunter and program and everything. He wasn't really angered by the fox. Sure, Furball. Though, from what I know from my father, his techniques are more related to Fuinjutsu than from what I've already mastered. I don't believe we'll find anything useful inside the house. Those books can say what they want. Only whoever fought against him know of his true skills. The fourth Hokage had mastered over 2 elements, besides being one of the best Fuinjutsu specialists I've ever seen. He had mastered over fire and lightning. Trust me, the man had a nice repertoire of jutsus, and as Hokage, he must have a lot of secret information from other nations, jutsus included. I wouldn't be surprised if he assembled a private library inside his own house. The fox had a point, but before he could do anything of that caliber or study anything else, he needed to find the damn house. Looking around the dark mountain, Naruto saw nothing. It's just a hunch, but if it was my house and I was worried that someone might break in, I would find a way to secure its location. Now, as you probably realize by now, there are techniques out there can make a building disappear. I trust that knowing your father and know what he specializes in, you're able to figure it out. The hint was pretty obvious. Fuinjutsu. He hid the house using seals. But how can I locate them, Naruto said. Normally, when securing a house, one must create a chakra field by using the 4 seals around the house. I'll help you in finding them. Taking advantage of Naruto's eyes, the fox used his skills and his experience to find the seal's location. As it took a while, but the fox spotted a piece of paper. Reaching over to the seal, Naruto passed his hand over it as the ink started to glow. Interesting. It appears his seal narrates responds to his and your touch. It's quite obvious I hate his guts, but he's always finding a way to do rather impressive things. Look, the others are glowing as well. The empty terrain was then filled with a nice 2-floor house with a garden that was being bombarded by the heavy rain. Naruto placed his right foot cautiously inside the house perimeter. After realizing it was safe, Naruto stepped inside. The seals blew once more, but nothing happened. Seeing that his position was safe, Naruto walked towards the front door and studied for a while. He was curious about his father, paranoia, and slight overthinking ways. Instead of the usual door handle, Naruto saw the same seal design in its place. No doubt this was his backup plan in case the enemies ever got through the perimeter seal. Instantly touching it, it started to glow. As Naruto heard the door click, he didn't have to push the door open as the door would slide open itself. As soon as he stepped foot inside, he saw the empty living room. A whole image flooding Naruto's mind of seeing his father and him as a baby. Another image then came of Jiraiya entering the house with a gift and the baby Naruto jumping in joy. Despite never seeing this happen, Naruto flipped on the light switch as he saw a couple portraits. Upon taking up one, he saw his father there with a red-headed woman, her hair extended down her waist and she had a smile that was enticing. It took a moment as Naruto saw the pregnant belly. Mom? She looked so happy. A smile appeared on Naruto's face as he saw her. Ever since he was young, he always wanted to know who his spirits were. He never wished for a public announcement or anything, he just always wanted to see them. And now, seeing the both of them in his picture, he wished someone to even share a story or two about them, but he wasn't sure if anyone was even willing to do that. I guess I'll take what I can get at this point, he reasoned with himself, as he placed the portrait back down, as the rain was coming down hard outside. After half an hour of walking around, he came back to the living room. So far though, he didn't see anything resembling a library, or even a single scroll hanging around. He knew that his father would have created some secret passage, given the secret that he used to hide the house outside, as he channeled more chalk to his eyes to improve his sight, and maybe find the damn seal to the secret passageway. But that idea went out of the window as he didn't find any, as he started to place his hand against the wall, trying to trigger the secret seal or something. He was getting frustrated as he wondered why the man was so paranoid like this, even inside his own house. As he passed through the wall that was near the kitchen though, he felt the ceiling tag, but he couldn't see it. If Fuin Jutsu wasn't enough, he cast a damn Genjutsu to hide the seal in a raid. It took a simple flare of Naruto chakra for the real wall to appear in front of his eyes. As he touched it, just like what he did the other one so far, as he heard shifting, as the wall shifted away, showing a secret passageway. There was a huge set of stairs down there. As Naruto saw transparent wires on top of the 10th step, throwing a single shuriken, Naruto sliced the wire. The man must have created traps for any enemies. A great number of torrent came from the walls and burned. Any enemy that was stupid enough to walk down the stairs would have been incinerated. The fire lasted about 2 minutes, as Naruto started to walk down the stairs. After a good walking, he finally reached a place that resembled a library. As Naruto was astonished by the amount of knowledge gathered by his father, and possibly his mother. The shelves were equipped, as they were stacked, in terms of ninja arts, to taijutsu, to genjutsu, all 5 natures as well. As he saw a section with the word Fuinjutsu, as he wondered how much would he have to study to grasp his father's famous technique, the Harashin. It was a gold mine for any Kunoichi or Shinobi, as he had to keep this from anyone outside his family. As he would have guessed that some of this security would have been kept from people that were even in Konoha. Not to mention, people like Donzo would have been thrilled to spend a week to analyze the force knowledge. Well, that is if he wasn't dead. As Naruto made his way to the ninjutsu section, at the moment he had knowledge of 3 natures, earth, wind, and fire. As he went towards the fire section, he used earth for defense, and he had a good repertoire of wind already. As he went straight towards the A rank jutsus, as he skipped the ones that he already knew. And after passing through all of it, he saw 2 that he did not know, and they looked useful. Fire style, Great Dragon Fire. Fire style, Dragon Breathing. As Naruto jotted down that empty scroll that he had on him, as he made his way towards the ceiling section, as he saw time, space, and a lot of different theories, a lot of different books. He was hoping that his father had something that covered everything that he needed to know about Fuinjutsu, because quite frankly he just couldn't take the entire section with him outside the village. His eyes then landed on a rather thick notebook, as he picked it up and started to read. flipping the first page. April 10th. It's been 2 years since I was promoted to tuning, and I'm now looking for a new field to specialize on. Passing through the library, I found something that sparked my interest. The art of seals, called Fuinjutsu. According to my research, is considered a lost art, but anyone that is managed to grasp the full aspect of Fuinjutsu from what I've read would have a huge advantage in the battlefield. Sensei Jiraiya is probably the only one in Konoha that's considered a master in the field, but I have yet to see any usage aside from stored seal and explosive tags. Naruto was surprised it was his father's diary as he went to the next page. April 12th. After tons of research in the art of seals, I can honestly say I'm hooked. There's a lot of material to cover, but I can bet you that the results are going to show themselves with our victory against those stone shinobis. The second great ninja war is in full force right now. With this art, I will hopefully be at use better for the village. Therefore, I decided to create this diary to jot down everything I know about the arts of seal that a ninja need to understand before becoming a master, as I intend to do one day. Also, I know it's too early for me even to think about having a family, considering I'm just 13 years old. But this diary will serve as a future guideline for the new generation to come. So for the one that is reading this, I'll be listing my findings and some techniques that I've already found out after going through my research. Naruto scanned through the pages as there was a lot of material collected by his father. After walking around the room a bit, Naruto saw a narrow corridor as he made his way around it, as there was a dojo. So this is where you develop your skills in secret, Dad. The walls were covered by gigantic seal arrays. Impressive yet again. These seals are called Sealing Technique Absorption Seal. What are they for? They match a seal any ninjutsu, being elemental or not. He must have placed them here to perfect his ninjutsu techniques and not worry about damaging this place. It's quite the skill to possess, Naruto. Quite possibly, you'll be able to seal off any type of ninjutsu, even the most dangerous ones. Let's just hope that his journal has a description in it. Naruto nodded, but his mind was focused for another use in his room. I guess we can test our new fire jutsus in here for night. What do you think? As the fox was already smiling at that. Time skip with Hana. As rain was currently pouring and she was doing some late paperwork at the veterinarian's office. I was hoping I would find you here. As she turned, as Naruto was standing there, she rushed towards him and hugged him, as his clothes was warm, as she smelled. What the hell happened? You're almost on fire. Easy, I'm okay, said Naruto. It was just over practicing, he said. Not to worry, I've been through worse. As he had a few burn marks over his skin that was already healing, but Hana got to work on helping him heal them as well. As Naruto smiled, as he turned and gently caressed her face, as she smiled, as it was time for her to lock up, as she had finished her paperwork. As she turned off the lights, as the both of them made their way towards the Inozaka compound, as two of her dogs quickly rushed towards the house when they were nearby, but the female dog stayed beside Naruto, as the dog really loved Naruto. When they arrived at the door, Naruto stopped. Hana-chan, I want to tell you that Tsunade-sama promoted me to Jonin. Hana looked down. On normal occasions, she would be thrilled with the news. Jonin promotion demanded respect, and right now Naruto was one of the village elites. But she knew now that nothing was stopping from taking the streets once again, looking for the village criminals. Nevertheless, she couldn't complain. It was his job. She smiled. She understood his job, but this time he wouldn't go alone. She was sure about that. As she saw Naruto rubbing the dog's ear, I understand, Naruto, but I want you to take her with you on your trip. As Naruto looked towards Manjitsu, that was the dog's name. Are you serious, Hana-chan? What? You don't want her? I thought you adored little Manjitsu. No, it's not that. I don't know how to fight alongside them as your family does. Not to mention the fact I will be separating her from her brothers. As Hana kneeled down and cursed the dog for her, as Naruto could not understand her. But the dog seemed really happy. I know for a fact, Naruto-kun, that she missed you when you're gone. Mom told me about this one time, but I never had the opportunity to discuss it with you. Do not worry about fighting alongside her. She is quite adaptable to any shinobis, not to mention she's the strongest out of the three. No doubt she'll provide great assistance in tracking your enemies. Also, if you accept my dinner invitation, Mom and I will explain everything that you need to know about her. And how to battle alongside her. Mom told me her chakra pathways are ready for the final ritual. She already understands our language. The jutsu for clan is needed for her to actually speak. As Naruto knew it would be much to the dog and Hana be accepted. But looking at the thing from a logical point, he wasn't sure if he was able to take care of her properly. Signing this me at his situation, Naruto found out that he just couldn't say no. She could be a great asset in the tracking part as well, and fighting powerful opponents that he could alone not handle. Okay, I'll take her with me, but I expect him to know everything about dealing with her, said Naruto. Yes, Naruto Teiko, step inside and begin your classes. Mom, he said yes. Just how long were you planning this, said Naruto, as Hana giggled a bit. The next day, as the Kages begin their journey, the summit will begin in approximately 2 days. Tsunade was no different as she started with skate, as she was dressed in her Hokage robes, with Guy and Kakashi beside her. Jiraiya and Shizune were there, along with the majority of Konoha 11, with the exception of Naruto, and Sasuke of course, to see their Hokage leave, to a meeting with all the Kages, since the last pack of neutrality that was signed. Minutes before her departure though, a hunter then arrived, followed by a dog. Those who did not know didn't see it as such strange, but the others who knew though, as Shino glanced at his smiling Kiba. I'll tell you later, he mouthed the words. As Jiraiya and Shizune glanced towards Naruto back, but as soon as he left the gate, he left towards a different part. He was a bit tired from the lecture you received last night from Hana, as Kiba was there as well, along with Tatsumi. He still had doubts, but Tatsumi told him he would be fine. Looking at the husky next to him though, he knew one thing for sure. He wasn't alone anymore. I still think you should have said no. That smell is pissing me off. You know foxes and dogs don't get along, right? Well, it pissed Kyuubi off, and there was a huge bonus for Naruto Park. As they were walking, as Naruto sensed, alerting the danger at the Hokage's direction, as he turned towards the pup. What should we do? She asked, as her voice had carried a sort of tone that a seasonal Kunoichi had, as she could tell now, as he was glad that she didn't call him by his name. Let's go see if we can help, of course. Kakashi and Guy are there, but it wouldn't mind check it out. A few seconds later with Tsunade, since the meeting was going to happen for 2 days, they didn't see the big, need to rush. Even going in a civilian pace, it will take a day and a half, as Kakashi felt he could catch up on some reading, which pissed off Tsunade, but her thoughts right now were busy with other things. For not trying to kill the Tishikage for what he did when she finally see him. Guy, however, commented on Kakashi's unyouthfulness in reading such a book in front of Hokage, but Kakashi simply shrugged it off. But all 3 of them stopped after feeling something around the bushes. Tsunade-sama, Kakashi said. By all means, Kakashi, but focus on incapacitating them first. A large hail of kunais and shurikens were thrown towards the group. Kakashi lifted the earth barrier right in front of Tsunade to protect her, as Guy was on the move, as Kakashi lifted his headband and dashed towards the group after seeing that Tsunade was safe, as he blocked a strike before landing a brutal kick on the one that tried to strike him down, knocking into 2 others, as he saw 2 others flanking him from behind as he went through hand sign, earth style, mud river technique. The enemies were sent sailing as the mud dragged them away, water style, destruction torrent technique, said Kakashi. The water and the river merged, rushing his snowbeats into a massive stone, knocking them out. Guy, on the other hand, were knocking them out one by one with his superior taijutsu moves, as Kakashi subdued the others, and he brought down the wall. As Tsunade wondered who would dare to attack her like this. As she stepped forward, one of the enemies appeared behind her though, as Guy and Kakashi was in front of her. But she didn't even have to turn as she heard metal sliding through flesh. As the man dropped to the ground and Tsunade saw Naruto standing there. I guess you arrived in the nick of time, Hokage-sama. Don't worry, I didn't hit any vitals, said Naruto. Tsunade really wanted to know who the hell were these guys. The mask and wardrobe looked familiar, but she just couldn't place it. Kakashi and Guy arrived by the woman's side. Guy was same as Tsunade, only vaguely remembered their appearance, but Kakashi knew about them. They are the Henyu clan of assassins from Wood Country. Tsunade looked at him in surprise. A couple months ago, Konoha received letter that the Henyu clan was wiped out from the map by an unknown force. A part of her, though, knew the reason behind the slaughter when the hidden villages were found in very number of powerful clans resided in unknown lands, and because of their growth in skill, and they didn't have a village to protect them, other major villages saw opportunity to wipe them out. The Henyu clan was actually negotiating with Konoha to form an alliance of sorts. All of a sudden, though, they were wiped out, see, from this group. Kakashi, send word to Jiro about this, and tell him to gather an envoy team to send these guys into custody. I want a word with them after the Kage summit. Tsunade turned back to Naruto as she saw the husky that was next to him, as she wondered if he could fight with a dog partner. She figured that Hana or Tatsumi convinced him to add this new travel companion. Hunter and she, I appreciate the assistance. Now I believe that you have a job set out for you. May I ask, who's first on the list? A rank missing in Hyuga, Tatsuko. The 3 of them blinked in shock at the name. Tatsuko was in both Guy and Kakashi classes in the academy, and they remember the woman's crazy behavior when she was just a Jenny. After receiving the cage bird seal, she tried to murder one of the clan branch members, only to be stopped by Hyuga Hayashi, who felt the level of killing intent back then, but she managed to flee soon after. Naruto knew this though by reading the bingo book. According to the bingo book, she suffered a mental breakdown after receiving the cage bird seal from the Hyugas. Rumors estimate that her brain was heavily influenced when Hyuga Sato activated the seal for the first time. I actually don't understand why no one ever captured her, seeing that her motor functions aren't the same anymore. But given her bloodline, I guess people are afraid of facing Hyuga in battle. Now seeing that the threat is dealt with, we will go after her target. For a brain damaged shinobi, she still has some knowledge on how to hide her presence, as Naruto bows slightly in respect, and then vanished through the pub. Tsunade's sighing dismay. Well, Kakashi, contact Jiraiya about the remnants of the Henyu clan. We have to increase our pace now in order to reach her on time. Time skip. At the unknown cave, located somewhere in river country, one individual was staring at a Geto statue, as he thought about the inconvenience lately in his plan. Words of Itachi's death by Sasuke was a blessing for him because he would move on to the next phase now by getting Sasuke to join his part. But as soon as Sasuke defeated Itachi, the both of them were taken away. Somewhere where Madara Uchiha could not get to them and get him out of there is space-time ninjutsu. Well, everything requiring on chakra, and he was sure that room was filled with chakra suppressors. If he ever stepped in there, he wouldn't be able to leave. It was completely unfortunate, but it was accounted for. Akatsuki suffered heavy damage because of the Sani Jiraiya and the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. However, Madara still his most trusted and loyal subordinates by his side. Right now, Akatsuki had 8 of the Bijus, meaning the Kyuubi Jinchuriki was the only one left. A beast as taxing as the Kyuubi would require more chakra to be sealed. Still, Madara was confident that any time now, they would capture him. Someone that great chakra capacity would join their cause. But now it was time to reveal his plans to the world. Nagato, he called. 2 sets of Rinnegan eyes appear in the darkness. I feel it's time for us to go to the Kage Summit and introduce ourselves. What do you think? Time skip. 2 days passed since Naruto left the Hidden Leaf. As things went back to normal once more, he enjoyed a sense of freedom being outside of the village and maintained the level of loyalty that was expected from the shinobis of the Hidden Leaf. True, he loved his girlfriend, time he spent with her and her family was a wonderful experience. But looking for missing nins be down here on the road, the wind blowing through his hair was different. The thrill of the hunt was exhilarating, and now that he had one of Konoha's best nose, no one could escape his grasp now. His next target, according to the bingo book, was last seen in Tansuka Mainjutsu had fine traces of her scents lingering by, as the bingo book had enough information on target that a hound, with enough training, could sense and triangulate their location. That being said, Naruto walked to the ambient village of Fire Country. He wouldn't vote well for him if the woman spotted him coming from a mile away and get ready. After all, it was a hunter's job to not be seen and get rid of the target, not the other way around. Not to mention she can try to flee and will have to chase after her once again. Within half an hour, he entered, as he found a hotel to stay. One of the traits of being a hunter nin out here, he didn't have to worry about time. If he wanted to take a week and wait to capture his prey, he could do so. Not that he had to wait that long, but it only made the feeling of freedom so much more enjoyable. As he passed through the city, he could hear civilians and samurais, even shinobis. Some of them screamed to the heavens how they could have lost so easily. It was always like this in the end in gambling, either you win or you lose. It was like being a shinobi, he supposed. The only difference was, by gambling you could lose all of your money, but by being a shinobi, you could lose your life. As Mainjutsu was sniffing around, it wouldn't take her long to locate the Hyuga. A couple meters away from the inn, a woman was playing poker, as she did not know that she was being hunted at the very moment. Well, she was on the run. But being a missing nin, didn't have a steady income. So whatever money she got, she tried her luck in gambling. With her Byakugan, she managed to win every time. While on certain games, it wasn't glorious, sure, and it took a lot of effort to tilt her face in the right direction so she would not be seen. Nothing was glorious in her life after all, so she didn't care. After all, she still had vengeance to get on the man that placed the birthday seal on her in Konoha. To this day, she can remember the unbearable pain. A lone tear slipped from her left eye, remembering that pain that she felt. Meanwhile, that was going on as Tsunade and her group finally arrived. Tsunade looked towards the 3 Peak Mountain as they were finally at Iron Country, as she kept herself calm for the amount of crap that she was going to face at the moment when dealing with that old snake Oniki. But guys, being this tutorial right here, once next part is to do, Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share all of your friends in your social media platform. And stay tuned for the What Ifs coming over from Anime King 3. I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.